I climbed into a coffin to avoid getting caught by the police during a drug search. My name is Luis. At least, that's what I used to be called. Now, I have no name, no passport, no identity. All that's left is this story, and it's the only proof I'm still alive. It all started back in 2021, when I was a courier in a drug system better left unspoken. We didn't hide drugs in pockets or bags. We had a deal with a funeral home in a small town on the Paraguay-Argentina border. Yeah, you heard right, we used coffins. But we didn't hide coke with the body. The body was just a cover. We built a double bottom that looked completely legal. Even on x-rays, everything clean. No one messes with the dead. No one opens a coffin if the cremation papers are legit. This worked for months. I crossed that route 2 or 3 times a week. Money was flowing. No problems. Then everything went to hell. It was supposed to be just another routine run. I loaded the cargo at 3 a.m. as usual. The body, an old man real, died of a stroke. We just used the moment, arranged the relatives to the crematorium, and slipped in 4 kilos of pure cocaine. The stash was at the bottom of the coffin, under the footrest. Pure genius. I was passing through the main checkpoint like always, but something fell off. The air was different. Usually at that CP, everyone is either sleeping, smoking, or just waving you through. This time, thorough checks, dogs, radios, strict inspection. I stopped, and 3 guys in bulletproof vests with guns approached immediately. One didn't even look me in the eye. He flipped through my papers like he already knew I was guilty. "This your car?" one asked. "Yes." "What's in the trunk?" "A coffin." "Cremation papers are here," I said. They checked the documents. One stepped aside to the radio. I heard a phrase that froze my heart. "That's the same car, waiting for backup." I realized, it's over. Someone betrayed us. Someone from inside. Maybe the one who packed the goods. Maybe someone we intercepted on another run. But it didn't matter anymore. I had one shot, and it was the craziest plan I'd ever allowed myself. While they were distracted for a moment, I pretended to go smoke nearby. Behind my car was a passage between concrete pillars, a little corner of the cemetery where cops couldn't see. There was a fresh grave, a shovel nearby, the soil still soft. I ripped open the coffin lining, lifted the lid, took out the body. Don't ask how. It was the hardest moment morally. Took off my hoodie, wrapped my face, tossed the papers and phone, put the body in the hole, crawled inside the coffin myself. Lying there, I quietly closed the lid. Darkness. Complete. Absolute. No sound. Just my own breathing. And even that started to feel dangerous. There was barely any air, though the coffin was wooden. The seams were tight. I heard footsteps nearby. Cops opened the trunk. Chaos starting. Dogs barking. Someone shouting. No driver. Body is here. Coke found? No. Search the perimeter. I lay still, almost not breathing. I couldn't even blink. Fear numbed my face. 2 hours. I counted heartbeats. I thought I was going to die. Not by the police, but just from suffocation. Time passed unlike normal reality. I imagined them coming, finding me alive, and shooting me right inside the coffin. Then silence. Complete. Lasting. Night. My partner, as we had arranged beforehand just in case, was waiting for a signal nearby. As soon as he saw the car taken away, and I wasn't among the detainees, he understood. And after 3 hours, when everything calmed down, he returned. He knew where I was. He quietly opened the coffin lid and saw me, soaked in sweat, pale face, with bloody fingers. I had torn the lining from inside just to breathe a little. I survived, but I don't work for that system anymore. It takes everything: health, mind, sleep, conscience. After that, I disappeared. No name, no voice, no ties. I crawled into a coffin to survive, to avoid arrest. But here's the truth. I died that night. The man I was disappeared. And a completely different being came out of that coffin. Now I'm just a memory. And this story is all that remains. If you want to understand why I did it, you have to go back to the beginning, how it all started. People look at stories like this and think, that's a criminal, a druggie, a scumbag. And in some ways, they're right. But no one asks, how did you get in? I wasn't born into the drug game. My father was a mechanic. My mother, a waitress. We lived in a poor neighborhood in Rosario, Argentina. The first gunshot I heard was when I was 8. At 11, I saw my neighbor being hauled away in a bag. It wasn't school of life. It was survival without rules. At 13, I worked at a car wash. At 15, I was already passing packages for an older brother at one of the locals. I never asked what they were. I just carried them. And every night, I got enough money to feed my family. At 17, I understood either I stayed a runner and got used up, or I moved up. Then Manuel showed up. He wasn't just a dealer. He was a logistics architect, a man who saw the drug business like a chessboard. He didn't need just a street kid. He needed someone unafraid to think and risk. I said yes. The first shipment was just 500 grams. We transported it in the door panel of an old Fiat. My hand shook back then, but it went smoothly. Manuel looked at me and said, "You fit. But remember, there's no way out in this game. It's either death or disappearance." I didn't believe him then. I thought I was smarter, faster, special. Classic. Over the next 3 years, I grew into an international courier. I had fake documents, my own apartment, connections in Mexico, Brazil, even Spain. People feared me. People respected me. But I never slept peacefully. I always knew one bad call and it's over. When we invented the coffin scheme, I thought at first, this is too much. But then I saw how it worked. Not once was there suspicion. We paid crematoriums, officials, even some cops. And I believed again that I was in control, that I was ahead of the game. But no one stays ahead forever. When I lay in that coffin, sweating with broken fingers, without air, I didn't think about money, status, or losses. I thought about one thing. Was it worth it? And now, having disappeared from the map, changed documents, name and face, I know the answer. No, it wasn't worth it. I crawled into a coffin to save myself. But I died long before that, back when I decided life had no value without power, fear, and money. The real madness isn't the coffin. It's the thought that you can come out of all this clean.